Hey guys, Jackie, welcome back to my channel, and for today's video we're going to do a really simple beginners friendly Valentine's Day look. I normally clip my bangs away, but since I got this new hairdo, I'm gonna keep my these side pieces in a roller. Before we get into today's makeup look, I do want to speak about one of my favorite perfume companies. It is Dossier, and they were kind enough to send me 2 perfumes for me to review for you guys. And if you guys don't know, Dossier is a luxurious brand inspired perfume company. They try their best to recreate luxurious brand perfume scents, so they could bring it to you at a very affordable price so you can have an alternative to these designer brands. Talk about bougie on a budget. And if you want your perfume to last all day or all night long for your dates, make sure to not only spray it into your neck area but also into your hair as well, like I'm showing you here. This will ensure that it will last the longest time possible. The 2 that I have here are Floral Violet and Woody Sage. Floral Violet has top notes of watermelon, pomelo, strawberry, middle notes of violet, gardenia, jasmine, and base notes of musk, vanilla, and blonde woods. Woody Sage has top notes of fig tree, grapefruit, middle notes of marine notes, amberette, and base notes of clary sage and amberwood. Floral Violet is an alternative for Marc Jacobs Daisy, and it has been one of my favorites recently, especially for Valentine's Day. I feel like the floral scent is really nice and fresh, and it's perfect for the date. Woody Sage is another one of my favorites. I feel like the scent is really nice and light and subtle. So if you don't want anything too overpowering, I would suggest this one as well. And this one is inspired by Joe Malone's Wood Sage and Sea Salt. Most of the perfumes on their website retails for below $30, and with some exceptions of those below $40, everything is in a full-size bottle, 50 ml, 1.7 fluid ounce. All these bottles are actually glass, and each one does come with a magnetic closure that is quite sturdy. This is a really heavy duty bottle, and I think with the magnetic closure, which a lot of perfume companies, luxurious brands, do not provide, I think this is such a bang for your buck. Don't miss out on the opportunity. I do have a coupon code for you guys. I'll leave it on screen and as well as in the description box down below. And let's get in with our makeup look. So first thing I'm using is the Beauty Creations Flawless Hydrating Primer. You know I love this primer. I use it everywhere, especially in the winter time, to combat my dry skin. Okay, now I'm using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I like to use it in like this triangular area as well as on the nose. It just kind of keeps the oil intact. And then I take the leftover onto the forehead T-zone area because I notice I've been getting some type of texture there. So this helps to keep that under control. So for the base, I'm going in with my Morphe Skin Tint. I actually recently got this and I really like it. I have in the shade Hints of Honey. It is a medium tan with neutral golden tones, and I was really struggling to find my shade, but the lady said it's okay if you get a shade too dark or too light because it is supposed to blend into your skin, giving you a really natural finish. So I ended up getting a shade that's a little too dark for me right now. And I'm just going to wet my brush with Mario Badescu. This brush is by e.l.f. It is the powder blurring brush. And then there's like no real technique. I just kind of like tap out and then blend in circular motion. I usually go in with one full pump kind of, and then I just take a brush and swipe around the little wand thingy. I know it's not that sanitary, but I just don't want to use that much of the product. And then I would go over with a second layer if needed. I do have some discoloration here, so that's why I'm going with a second layer on that side. It gives like a really natural dewy finish, which I love. And don't forget to blend it onto your neck. This shade is slightly too dark for me right now because my winter tan from Aruba has kind of faded a little bit, so I'm back to my regular winter pale self. But I got the shade with the intention of matching my body, so it kind of looks alright. And then I'm just gonna wet my face a little bit with the Mario Badescu. And I'm just going to take a sponge and press everything in to give me a really nice flawless base. Also, comment down below what you're doing for Valentine's Day, because for me, Valentine's Day is kind of like same old now. I've been in the same relationship for like years, so it's like not any different for us. We kind of just treat it like a normal day. Yes, we go out to dinner, but it's not anything special like we used to do. And comment down below what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day, because honestly, like, My boyfriend and I, we don't really do much for Valentine's Day anymore. It's kind of just like a regular day for us. Of course we do dinner, but it's not anything big like we used to do when we first got together. So let me know what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day down below. It will kind of give us an idea of like what else to do for date nights. Okay, so now that our base is on, I'm going to kind of like spot conceal with my Instant Asian Wine by Maybelline. I'm just going to go like really light-handed because this is like super pigmented and it's a little too light for the base right now. So I'm just going to spot treat. I'm going in with a same sponge. Okay, I'm going to set my face one more time. Just very, very lightly. And then I'm going in with another concealer. This one is by e.l.f. It is somewhat closer to my skin tone. So I'm just going to layer that on top of where I need to spot conceal. And this time I'm just going to let the concealer sit for a little bit, let it get a little crusty before tapping it in. I found that this way gives the best coverage, especially if you're spot concealing. So I'm just going to let it sit for a little bit. And then we're going to tap it in. So I'll put a piece of tape to help us get a really sharp line. And then the first thing I'm going to do is actually take the same Putty primer and prime our lids with that. For the lid space, I'm using a ColourPop Super Shock shadow. This one is in the shade Cornelius. It's a really like everyday mauve brown kind of shade. Taking it onto my finger and kind of just patting it in. And notice how I am moving my fingers from the tape towards my lid space because we don't want any of the product to get lodged into the little crease area underneath the tape. So that is why I am brushing it from the tape in towards the lid. The shade is nothing too crazy. I just want a nice even base. So the next step is to carve out the eyeliner shape with our concealer. So I'm taking the e.l.f. concealer onto a flat brush, kind of draw out our eyeliner shape. So now that we have the eyeliner shape drawn, we're going in with eyeshadow. And I'm going to be using my Beauty Bay Brights Matte palette. Going into the shade Cosmopolitan, I'm just taking it onto a eyeliner brush and I'm going to stamp it onto the concealer that we just laid down. As I'm working the pigment into our concealer, I'm kind of going back and forth between two shades. I'm mixing in Sweet Town, which is kind of like a really pale bubblegum pink. And again, with eyeshadow liner, you never want to drag, you just kind of want to pat and lay it down. Then to kind of define our wing a little more, I'm going in with a darker shade. This one is called Head Over Heels, and I'm just going ever so slightly along the line, give it that really sharp edge. And then directly on top, I'm just going in with the first two shades that we were using and kind of just buffing it out. And then to kind of tie the whole look together, I'm going in the inner corners with Sweet Tooth, which is that really pale baby pink. And just kind of like keeping it in the inner corner ever so slightly. Going into Cosmopolitan, and I'm going into the inner corner as well. Taking a piece of tissue onto my finger and kind of cleaning up the area because I don't want the shade to be too kind of like poof, you know what I mean? I want it to be really concentrated, so I'm wiping away the excess because I really just want it in the center crease right here. Okay, so I just peeled the tape off, and as you can tell, this eyeliner is slightly shorter than this one, so I'm just going to clean it up with some concealer. This one is the e.l.f. one. I'm also taking it onto the same flat brush, and I have a really tiny sponge, and I'm just going to be really careful around the eyeshadow. Okay, it looks much better, but I'm going to define it a little more with that darker shade. And this time I'm going in with really light brush strokes because I don't want it to be super pigmented. Okay, so next up is eyelashes. I'm going to slightly curl my lashes because we're going to be putting lash inserts on. These ones are from Plume Lashes, and if you guys want a more detailed tutorial, I do have a video on my channel, which I will link down below and in the little card here as well. So the ABG lashes are on and our eyes are officially complete, but let's move back into our face. So look who has joined me. Coco. So going back into our face, I'm going to start off with contour. So I've been seeing this new contour routine on a TikTok that I really want to try out. So I'll be going in with my cream bronzer from Tarte. This is part of the Surfer Curl collection. I really love it, and I'm taking it onto this Royal and Langnickel Precision Angle brush. It's like perfectly small and dense. Go in with the bronzer, and in the TikToks that I've seen, they kind of find the hollow of the cheek, so I'm guessing it's like right here, and then you just kind of contour that one spot. So I go out right here, and then you just kind of like blend it out in that one spot. It's supposed to give you a really nice and natural looking contour, so I'm gonna try that out. Maybe I used too much bronzer, but I'm going to try to buff it out with my sponge. And now moving into our next step, which is blush, and I'm going to keep it a little more cool tone just because our eyeliner is a bit more cool tone. I usually gravitate towards a more warm tone blush because I feel like it looks really good with my skin tone, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to be going into a more cool tone one by using the shade Hope from Rare Beauty. I love their blushes, it's amazing, and a little goes a long way, so be sure to go really light-handed. And then I'm taking a fluffy brush, the one that I usually use for blush, and I'm going to blend that out. Okay, I really like how that looks, and it's never enough blush for me, so I'm going in with this second layer using the ColourPop pressed powder one, taking it onto the same brush. Wow, so it shows up super pink in the viewfinder, but like in my mirror I look fine, which is always a problem for me. And I love to squeeze the brush, making it really thin and then going over the nose, because I really love that sun-kissed glow. Okay, now I'm going in with some powder to kind of clean everything up. This one is by Makeup Revolution, and I'm just going to do a really quick bake. For lip, I'm going in with this Milani lip gloss. It is in the shade Rosy Bronze, and I feel like this is the perfect shade for me because it's kind of my lips but better, and it has these that makes it look so delicious. And that's it for today's look. Thank you guys so much for watching and for always supporting me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.